Okay, so I'd like to talk to you today a little bit about accreditation. Um, your assignment is basically as a memo just discussing, benefits of accreditation. So, really, when we talk about that in higher education, we're talking about three basic kinds of accreditation. So, there's regional accreditation, there's national accreditation, and then there's programmatic accreditation. So the whole purpose of accreditation, now when I was a grade school principal, I actually went through the steps of getting my grade school accredited. The whole purpose of accreditation is that there's one thing for me to say as an institution to say, yes, we have all of our ducks in a row and we're doing everything right. But it's another thing to have an outside organization come in and look at everything you do and verify that, yes, you are doing everything the way that you're supposed to be doing. And the government actually uses accreditation as a means of verifying that a college or university or institution um, is merits government checks for student loans and that sort of thing. So losing accreditation is a big deal. And having accreditation and the right accreditation is naturally, of course, also a big deal. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the three different kinds and what's involved. So in general, when a university or college, a public one or a large one, or land grant university or whatever is talking about accreditation, they're talking about regional accreditation. Okay, the country is divided into regions, and each region has a regional accreditation body that all it does is it goes in and it verifies each of the colleges and universities that they meet certain standards. There's no surprises. There's no surprises about the standards. There's no pop inspections or anything like that. There is a lengthy list of criteria with subpoints and everything that says, does your school do this? Does it do this? Does it have this? Does it have this? Regional accreditation is the most thorough, and it's the gold standard. If a college or university can say that it's regionally accredited and it accepts and receives that, then typically everybody's happy. So accreditation comes in a cycle. Every so many years you have another accreditation visit from your accreditor, and they come back in and they reinspect everything, and they may ding you on some things and say these are some things you need to work on. But in general, if you meet the majority of standards, then you receive accreditation. So that's regional accreditation. I can tell you that I have worked for a for-profit college that really wanted to hit the gold bar, so they applied for regional accreditation, and it's not the be all and end all right? It's not that hard to do. I know there are some things that we faked a little bit, or that we fudged a little bit, or we threw together, like policies and things that we just threw together so we had them on the books, so that we would meet accreditation. And they weren't necessarily done well, but they were done so that they could be done. So the accreditation looked at it and said, do you have this in place? Yes, we have this in place. Great, wonderful. Without necessarily going in depth and looking at the quality of it. So while regional accreditation is great and it's a step in the right direction, it is not necessarily a be-all and end-all. All right, so then you have national accreditation. Typically, your schools that are getting national accreditation are technical schools, vocational schools, sometimes religious schools, business colleges, career path colleges. So think of like UTI, or think of like ITT, Technical Institute, or think of maybe even like DeVry or something like that. National accreditation, as sounds, is across the whole nation, is a set of standards that is not as in-depth or rigorous as regional accreditation. It's a lower bar, and so that's why for-profits and career schools and that sort of thing tend to just go for getting that national level of accreditation. Typically, credits from a nationally accredited school do not transfer to a regionally accredited school. However, regionally accredited school credits will transfer to a nationally accredited school. And it sounds deceptive. I know that, a lot of times I hear people say, well, national accreditation, that's better than regional accreditation because it's the whole nation. That's not at all how it works. Okay, but regional accreditation, if you think of it as more localized, so it is more specific and a better or a higher standard. And then you have programmatic accreditation, and programmatic accreditation should not be considered in the same vein as regional or national accreditation because those take a holistic look at a whole school, and they're both similar in that they do that. Programmatic accreditation usually applies a set of standards that are specific to an industry or to a field. So just take, for example, nursing, right? A school that has a nursing program, the school-wide accreditation is not going to cover everything that really needs to be looked at in depth in a nursing school. However, accreditation geared toward a nursing program or nursing school, it says if you're going to be a nursing school or nursing program, you also have to meet or have or do all of these additional things. And naturally, we want our health sciences and some areas to have a higher or more stringent set of standards. So it's possible for a university to be regionally accredited, but also for it to have multiple departments or programs. And those multiple departments or programs may each have their own specific accreditation just to their program. So as you as a student are looking around, if you're looking for schools, you need to be aware of the distinction between regional and national, of course. You should also be aware of, in your field, are there any standards of accreditation that would be applied specifically? Culinary arts, I'm sure they have some sort of accreditation board for that. Equestrian, anything that's really, really specific, veterinary, medical, radiometer, whatever, just radiology, anything like that. So knowing those things should inform you a little bit about how you're going to approach your memo this week. All right, so have a great week.